MC, Beauty as She Sees It is a space for reflection, empowerment, and spiritual awakening. The stories and insights shared here are for inspiration and personal growth, not medical, psychological, or professional advice. Every journey is unique. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and always honor your own inner wisdom. Hi, thank you for joining me on MC Beauty as She Sees It for the first season of my podcast. On MC, I dedicate myself to beauty, following what only spiritual awakening can help us perceive. I am interested in this theme, not as a concept, but as something profound and spiritual. It is not only the beauty our eyes allow us to perceive, but it also awakens us when we open ourselves to a higher perception. The beauty lies in recognizing a moment of realization that can change your perception. Just because you've been spiritually awake for a long time doesn't mean you have nothing left to learn. This podcast episode serves as a preview of my various conversations here and elsewhere. I'm here to accompany your moments of silence. Those who listen to me regularly are probably aware of what awaits them. I'm the guy who decided to stop fumbling. How dare you? You go into the closet. Watch until the end and you will notice that the discussion thread unfolds before your eyes, like a spool of thread on a stylist's table. In addition to my successful entrepreneurial endeavors, my work involves helping hundreds of people daily who want to protect their lives, property, and medical expenses. I am proud to be among the courageous men and women who volunteer for a cause. My team and I offer a half-hour session to help you recognize and appreciate the glorious moment of spiritual awakening. Be open to clues, guidance, and concrete examples that will help you contextualize these moments. My goal is to accompany you in your moments of silence. I imagine how difficult it must be to not know what to do with the clues and revelations that pique your curiosity and pull you out of your spiritual torpor. I know people who failed simply because those around them approved of their madness. Whatever the cost, even if they had to pay with their lives. What's the point? Unfortunately, I'm not here to talk about others. Let me tell you a story. It's simple. No need to say too much. You don't convince because you talk a lot. And the best part, my friend, is that you can learn everything quickly. Connection. Yes, absolutely. Together, we will explore a life rich in meaning, where beauty is perceived as a prism of sobriety. My lifestyle blog offers just that. I am committed to bringing you the best of myself. Before I forget, please subscribe for more videos like this. Activate the notification bell for all videos and come back frequently. I promise to be more generous if I reach 4,000 subscribers in 15 days. You will not find me anywhere else to share impartial ideas on spiritual awakening. Read the description while you listen to find out how to connect with me. My girlfriend thinks I'm handsome. I'm sure my sister turned them inside out and adjusted them to the correct size. This is the first season of my podcast, MC Beauty as She Sees It. Today's episode is number 1. Relax and enjoy. I looked away that morning and won't discuss it today. There must be so many reasons for my reaction. I'm not here to talk about others or myself, so you'll understand the context. Inspired by my experiences, I will share a few moments that paved the way for my awakening. If you follow me to the end, you'll understand the skeleton of my upcoming discussions. I didn't realize early on that relying on the tip of the iceberg to make certain decisions was a bad idea. Forgive my honesty, a number doesn't mean much. Our parents taught us what they hoped would help us navigate life's thorny crossroads. I wish I had understood that sooner. I simply let certain things take over. But what are you talking about? Would ask a few of my acquaintances. You followed your destiny. Honestly, I'm doing my best. We are beautiful, and life is as authentic as it is magnificent. Sometimes it feels like it's guiding us, but it's disheartening to realize that we're merely observers. We've failed in our duty. I do not doubt that. It's even a sin to put everything off until tomorrow. Our life begins here today. This time is precious. Some have given up everything to be part of a family. What I mean by that is that there is a time for everything. Friends are good companions. The question now is, will they always be? I doubt it. By the way, share this episode with a loved one whose spiritual insight has had an impact on your life. Do you know what I realized? I realize how easy it is to fall into the trap of not resisting enough. One day, while watching television, I came across a movie trailer that caught my attention. I had no idea there was so much to learn. But I knew the difference between knowing how to explain yourself to defend yourself and taking control for good. Remember, I'm a man. I speak on behalf of my girlfriend because she can't speak for herself. I'm sure your parents would say it differently. For the rest, trust your friends. You'll be one of the happiest people in the world. This is harassment. I'm a big fan of the virtual world. Some believe it's sacred. In reality, we must identify those we can count on. Hunger, thirst, abandonment, right? Yes, abandonment is part of life. I regret having to play the role of someone defending a star. But what do you want? We're all here to learn, and it's confirmed. Giving the best of ourselves is not enough. We all have an exceptional gift. A deep secret resides within us. Some refuse to admit they have found their calling and where they can shine. The angle from which we observe our misfortunes explains why it is difficult to turn back. The reverse is also true. We have learned to cling to what is precious to us. I've always believed that everyone is free to make their own choices. I've even granted myself that privilege. I deserve to have a happy heart, but I'm careful what I wish for. Knowing what you want from life is one of the most crucial tasks a young person should focus on. I say that because, ultimately, no one intends to throw everything out the window overnight. Long-term self-improvement, and improvement mixed with imperfections, is a worthy goal. There you have it. No, but seriously, what can you expect from a relationship between two people who only do what they want? I hope it's only out of fear of losing everything that we cling to each other. Just a reminder. You can certainly stay in touch with me by pressing the subscribe button and activating the notification bell for all videos. This way, you will be among those who will watch my next video first. A few years ago, I met a young woman. 17 months later, she became a lady. It's logical. No one spoils their children by showering them with gifts anymore. There's a word to describe every yoga pose. The incense we burn while meditating doesn't always have the same shape, texture, or scent. I have a soft spot for the ones that constantly remind us to watch our step. I'm shocked that one man put an end to that. But remember this, there are 3 things to consider before voting for the status quo. More on that later. A man must always conform to standards. But which ones? The imposed ones, it's as simple as that. They don't necessarily have to be yours. They have to be the ones you deem relevant at that moment. But what else do you want me to do? I've done everything I can to improve certain conditions. Okay, it's good that you've done everything. I believe you. But the time will come when you'll do things your way and impress in your way. We all deserve it. I don't pay much attention to certain things before I go out. I'm always focused on my destination. Nothing else is more important to me. However, if someone tries to talk to me, I listen. That's all I do, and it feels good to hear. A listening ear reveals a great deal about the person you are. Some say people like to listen, so some talk, others listen. Who would you want to be? That's the question I often ask myself. I, too, have a position. Our choices determine who we are, who we want to be, and who we risk becoming. The wisest ones decide to find a more than perfect balance. You know what they do? They tend to limit their words. They shape their interlocutor's speech according to their motivations. Good, I don't want you to spoil everything. We don't always have to understand. That's precisely what I did. But I didn't expect my girlfriend to turn towards me, point her camera in my direction, and take my picture. So I reacted proportionally to her spontaneity. No, I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting her to take my picture. I wasn't prepared for it. The mere fact of her turning towards me awakened something. Had I had dreams the night before? It was relatively peaceful. I was living alone. Besides, I paid for almost everything, including food. I was somewhat embarrassed that morning. And if you want to comment on anything, at any time, either stop the video for a while or continue watching, but simply scroll down to the comments section and do not hesitate to do so. What women don't understand, or rather, what partners refuse to understand, is that we don't always feel ready. Some people want to build together. But it takes at least two people to discuss collaboration, because saying together is like doing arithmetic. We draw ovals and ensure there's inclusion and exclusion, which are sets. There you have it. The same principle applies to life as a couple in general. Partners fail to fulfill their role of complementarity, fail in their duty to support each other, and represent a point of no return. A bridge of no return in the lives of those with whom they partner. This should prompt us to reflect deeply on who we want to be as men and women, because others have already made their choices. But we are too busy to think about anything other than brainstorming. If my observations are correct, women aspire to be omnipresent. They assume the right to control everything. Why don't some faces reflect all of that? I still have things to clarify. In any case, I will continue to support those who struggle to find answers to specific questions. Strangely, some families know where to dig. I trust what others have been generous enough to share. And guess what? A movie trailer dispelled many of my doubts. On the other hand, I try not to jump to conclusions. That's my principle. I observe. I look for beauty where it hides, in the interconnectedness, in the intimate dance of atoms. I repeat, I'm not here to talk about others. I have a simple life story to share. We talk too much, and the other person isn't convinced. The best part, my friend, is that we learn everything quickly. Connection. Yes, absolutely. Let me explain. Connection is essential. Does the silence of a friend who listens to you say a lot and whose gaze is fixed on your hair as if they were glued to the ceiling and afraid to look up? It may mean it's time to go for a walk. I don't know what it means. When was the last time you ate out? Would you rather go on a date? Involve someone else emotionally in your life? I'm trying to figure out what you've noticed so far. Prepositions? I'll talk about that in detail in future episodes. People like me find comfort in knowing a friend has been through the same thing because they think they've checked all the boxes. Okay, imagine you have a romantic partner who loves taking pictures of you. Is that a habit? Well, maybe it only happened once. What did you learn from that trigger? Did it reveal how your partner feels about you? Did it turn you on? Those are signs you should never ignore. I'm not saying your partner should behave negatively. I hope you open your eyes to new perspectives and understand what makes a moment special. Some people read movie ratings and reviews before going to the theater. This has nothing to do with the plot. However, the synopsis can help the reader understand the story. Reading the synopsis beforehand can help the audience understand what a movie is about. So, how can this analogy be helpful to us? I was on vacation, and I love spending time with my loved ones. Certain things happen when you detach yourself from what you do to survive, or rather, from what you pursue as a dream or goal. You naturally relax and pay much more attention to yourself. Something almost impossible to achieve in regular times. You rest. You gain a few extra hours of sleep. It's essential to understand what happens to plants when it rains. It's not like we get our hands dirty. It's not like we put our hands in a rice bowl, you know? There are decisions to be made, and we make them immediately. Otherwise, we go back to bed and sleep in. I don't know how many hours you sleep a day, but we're all built to sleep at night. Our crib tells a story that our toddler bed can support with solid arguments. There you have it. We learn from our mistakes. We draw strength from them to move forward. Share a mistake that helped your growth a lot. They say boxers prepare long enough to capture one moment. I reply, they say, so don't believe everything they say. Instead, rejoice that you had the opportunity to listen to someone speak. Analyze. It's important. No one wants it if it's too loud or even too bland. But you know why you might prefer what would usually turn you off? Do your research. Archives aren't always reliable sources. Trust me. Some women, they think, are walking a tightrope on the edge of the abyss. So be understanding, like it or not, we're all privileged. Of course, we don't have the same privileges. Opening yourself to that truth changes the game, and you begin to perceive the enormous difference between falling asleep and waking up. No one will do it for you. We are all faced with choices. When you think about it, the freedom to choose is not ours. Either we choose one of the options offered to us, or the other is imposed on us. Let me quote Jean-Paul Sartre. Not to choose is still to choose. So the choice is made either by conviction or by convulsion. I don't think I said much, and you're probably still with me. In any case, this trailer substitute is just one episode that covers all the content we're going to see together, theme by theme. We have our work cut out for us. I hope you have already subscribed to my channel. Wisdom lies not in blind abandonment, but conscious guidance. Awareness of where we head and why. The ease of automation is tempting, but without intention, it becomes inertia disguised as progress. You know what influencers do? Simply put, they encourage decisions. That's all they do. It doesn't matter what they rely on to stay upright. Besides, we all do the same thing. Imagine you have plans for the future, and you work on them every day. Everything is going wonderfully. Great. What I mean is that you're moving forward despite everything. Small steps, perhaps, but you're still making progress. I don't know anyone who wants to welcome someone into their life without wondering if they're living up to their dreams. Yet fear often seems to paralyze us. Others don't always enthusiastically welcome our plans, even if we present them discreetly. We have a knack for pretending not to understand. It's also another way of saying no. With a bit of luck, we can find the path to acceptance, including that of our dreams. Our fear of not being able to express what we want to present to the other clearly doesn't help us in any way. Life doesn't give us any gifts, and yet we pretend to. Ultimately, we can do nothing to understand what's going on in the other person's head. Why not pay more attention to the current that animates us? Most of the time, this is precisely what defines our relationships. As long as it's the only possible option, I see no problem. Here again, we have much to learn from each other. Silence will speak to us. Our attentive ears will not only force us to listen, but they will dictate applicable instructions for our personal development. Hardly believable revelations will finally awaken us from our torpor. We do not seek to understand if we care little to see more clearly. Believe me, you'll quickly know whether it's a priming problem or something else. I'm all ears. You probably know the rule. Everything manifests at a higher level. No need to say a word. You're either ready or you're not, but as soon as you're ready, you act. You don't wait for the iron to cool before striking. We'll return to what all that implies in terms of investment later. Seriously, no one could stop us. Their inattention to our actions must have encouraged us to waste what someone else could have used to transform our lives. The truth is that parents have always been one step ahead of their children. They know it. Give the video a like if you agree. Listen to what I have to say. It took me years of analysis, particularly as I waited for specific events in her life, to finally understand what she was implying. This is a woman who wants to give herself to her man. Who wants everything from a woman? It's scary. This woman constantly complains to those close to her, women she probably considers mother figures. Whose fault is it that love has nothing to do with it? The few words this woman spoke sounded like a mixture of consonants and alliterations muffled by her nostrils. What the hell is she talking about? Her boyfriend is tall and strong, believe me. Outside his workouts, he barely moves. He owned a Mercedes-Benz and a BMW. At least, that's what her cousin told me. The latter is a colleague of one of my acquaintances. Two individuals meet and decide to see each other. Each date more clearly defines the future of their relationship. I mean, the efforts each of you makes to ensure the other's mood doesn't affect this moment of shared happiness are worth their weight in gold. The most important thing is to convince yourself that mutual understanding can help build strong and lasting bonds. Today's episode lays a foundation for a podcast that encourages us to change our perception of the world and embrace beauty in all its forms. Before we wrap up, here's a quick reminder. This podcast isn't about relationships. This first episode is intended to be the skeleton of what will become the body of a man and a woman who decide to relive the experiences that mark their spiritual awakening continually. Don't forget, you can contact me in several ways. I publish a weekly newsletter. Join us. The most important thing is to visit me regularly. Check out the descriptions to find out how to stay in touch, and most importantly, start a conversation. That's all for today. See you next time. The next episode after our first Q&A is titled, Why Will Your Next Kisses Never Taste the Same as the Last Ones? You've grown up. Get ready. This half hour will refresh your memory, remind you of your mistakes, and most importantly, help you confirm the lessons learned and move toward more mature relationships. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video for more intimate connections. Until next time, stay beautiful. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video for more intimate connections. Until next time, stay beautiful.